Got a couple minutes to just sit back and let the song play.
Yeah. You know what time it is. Back like I never left. Shout out to Drewski. Drewski, that is. Yeah. Let's go. Hey, yo. They counted me out. I started counting up. I'm no pretender. 12 tribe representative from summer to winter. Let me say that back again. I'm the sum of the winners. Got the game locked like your favorite defenders. Yeah. My run looking rather great. Why you think you sent me to the game? Just to gather grapes. Gotta show them how to level up and how to levitate. I'm heavy in the ring. It's not fair for them featherweights. Been a truth before arrow. Now watch me demonstrate. No more demons got me rocking on my mama dinner plates. Now I'm more concerned with how to stay up out of sinner's way. So when I see the judge, he gon' sentence me the friendly way. Tell me well done, my good and faithful son. The only words I want to hear when the kingdom comes. Put me in a mansion, I don't ever want to see the slums. Nah, I eat my father's bread, heathens, you can keep the crumbs.
Let's unite the like-minded of us. Whether we are Christians or Muslims or nationalists or agnostics or socialists. If we are like-minded on reparations and on justice for our people, we are brothers indeed. But a black face ain't gonna make you no brother today. Hey! We tired of these black face, white-hearted brothers. Say the masquerading against though you love your people.
This record feeling like New Orleans back in 97. Juvie had the soldier rag, I dreamed about the 9/11. Still getting bread, only difference is I dropped 11. Still love the Lord, only difference is I dropped the reverend. Now I'm meaner than I ever been. Washed with the word, now I'm cleaner than I ever been. Demons still knocking at my door, I can't let them in. Flesh like LeBron with the Lakers, it can't get a win. I'm just trying to give you the picture, you gotta fill it in. Hero way the chef, he can never let the villain win. I just spit diamonds and rubies, man, I can pin a gem. The writing on the wall above them all, how I pin the ceiling. He who holds don't need a physician. For my way to the top, I don't need permission. That's why I keep dropping on them like the motor slipping. That's why they put me with the greats. We all rapping, but they know I'm different.
All praise.
All praise to the Most High. Qam Yasharahla. All praise to the Most High, man. Hey, we had Wednesday night war zone, right? All praise to the Most High, to the Heavenly Father and the Heavenly Son, whose righteous names is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and we're going to lift up those names in the mighty spirit of all those that go out on the highways and the byways in the last days, right? All of those diligent servants that's, at home seeking this truth in the last days, they studying, they building themselves up and getting right, man. We in the warrior season, man. All these things going on around the earth. You know what I mean? It's time to totally sink yourself within these scriptures in the last days, man, because we are at war, man. So we Yahweh's camp, right? And I'm your brother Yashuv, the suffering servant.
Officer Ron.
It's Joshua Bong.
Brother Malak. Brother Malak.
His brother Ephraim.
His brother Marcus. His brother Marcus.
His brother Aniel.
We got you, Marcus. Who else? Aniel. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Shalom.
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 Khan, all praises. So this right here is going to be the addition of the previous lesson for his namesake. So what I would like to do is open up with those images right there, brother. Let's see what's going on. Let's see the war in the earth right now. Are you serving the Most High in the last days, or are you a part of serving Satan and the demons that seek to pollute this world right now, right? So we got the Rolling Loud concert. Everybody love to party, right? Everybody love music. Everybody love to get together and dance, and you know how we do, man. We are rhythmatic beings. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no people on the earth that got more rhythm than the children of Israel, right? We sprinkle that salt all over the planet, baby, right? But they have used you and they have misused you, Israel. You've shown yourself to be a representation of being mixed in with the strangers and loving captivity more than seeking out your salvation in the last days, right? So just keep on, look at, hey, this is what our people love right here, man. They representing this, man, in the last days, right? Mm-hmm. And if you look at these images, man, that stage was built upon nothing but crosses, burning fire. They got mannequins up there. They got upside down crosses up there, right? Even though we don't follow that, right? But we understand who is following that, and that's what you see. So if you got crosses on your neck, if you got crosses hanging up in your churches, you should be questioning rather if it's right or wrong in the last days. You should be looking at what's being promoted in the earth, to totally show you that you're going off, but you ain't really paying attention. So it's our job to show you. You see that the cross is off. All of these little these images are off that don't relate back to the holy scriptures themselves, right? So if you could go ahead and just play those videos, brother Ephraim. Mm-hmm. Not that one. Play the other one. Well, that's fine. Play. Yeah, just go ahead. Just roll with it. Just go ahead.
Little Uzi, he said that he introduced a city girl to Satan. Everybody is talking about this. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe in God. I don't know about that.
Well, pause that real quick. This is for educational purposes, by the way. Everything being shown is solely for educational purposes only. Go ahead.
Do you feel like he's like taking it too far?
Yeah, that one's a little too crazy for me.
Now, quick question, right? If he does hypothetically believe in Satan, would you advise his city girl girlfriend to kind of like, run for the hills? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. For me, I believe in God. I'm very religious. Came up in the church, so anything that has to do with Satan, I can't rock with.
And one last question. I know it's kind of weird, but do you think he might be a part of the Illuminati since he said that?
I don't know.
He tried to sneak one on him.
That's the energy that's being promoted, right? Open. They are openly worshiping the beast in the last days, right in front of your face. You better get ready to pick a side, Israel. Those that don't know they Israel, those that got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, those that they turn that water on and they don't want to be hot. You feel me? Yeah, you might as well be cold with these people right here. You feel me?
Come.
He said, "I do what I want."
So look, this brother, hey, look, his grandmother probably prayed over his soul. His mother probably prayed over his soul growing up. You understand? You know how them old grandma warrior spirits, man, for the Lord, praying in their closet, man. And this brother sitting up here talking about some, now I do what I want, right? And this is what our kids is listening to, right? It's what our daughters, our sons is listening to. They vibing on this right now. It's a vibe, right? They're giving you all of these mixed up frequencies and bad vibrations. You understand? All of this stuff, the colors, right? The fire, the images, all of this stuff is to get you to worship Satan in the last days, man. That's what all of this stuff is, man. They're openly promoting for the world who they truly stand with. You see that? But even our good brother Tony Yayo, right? You believe in what God, my brother? You understand? Because if you truly believed in the most high power, whose name is Yahweh, right? And this lesson is for his name's sake. Understand that, man. You got to be in these scriptures in the last days. Forget about polluting your mind and your temple with bad vibrational music. You understand? The corruption of the world. But look at that. You see that? Burning crosses upside down on fire, man. Right?
Wow.
Who did that? Who did that? And the people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So that's all we gonna give for the sake of that right there. Israel. Yeah, let's play this one right here. Right.
I don't know if y'all hear that mess behind me that I'm leaving. Something is not right with that. Jesus, in Jesus' name. I'm walking up and down through this Rolling Loud concert, praying and clutching my pearls because that sounds like some mess. I can't. Lord God, fix it. That's crazy. I don't even want y'all to hear this. That's how negative and demonic and his soul is living these. I don't know if y'all hear that mess behind me that I'm leaving.
Hey, that's what she's leaving right there. She's leaving open worship of Satan in the last days, right? So through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shah, we calling Israel back in the last days to separate yourself from these strangers. Understand your errors in the last days. Understand that you must come back to the true power, right? You must come back to the book. All right, it ain't doing no good on the table. It ain't doing you no good knowing that somebody else got one, and you got a praying grandmother, you got a praying aunt, your aunt is a pastor, right? And all of this other stuff that go off in the last days. But you better realize you got some mighty warrior men out here in the last days and standing up for righteousness, right? So while the earth is serving Satan, you got men that are openly reading Bibles, multiple Bibles in the last days to try to bring forth the truth to our people, right? So with that being said, let me get the book of let me get 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Yeah. Somebody else, let me grab let me get 1 Timothy chapter 4.
You said 2 Corinthians 15:33 or
yes,
1
sir.
Corinthians?
1 Corinthians.
I got that out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Says, be not deceived, Israel. If you don't understand who Israel is in the last days, you're gonna understand through this lesson, right? That the brothers, the sisters that look like you, that have gone through hell in this earth in the last days, right? That you are the children of Israel. You've been deceived already by your entertainment world, your sports world, or any other world that's outside of the world of Israel. You have been polluted, right? But it says evil communication corrupt good manners, right? Communication go into frequencies and vibrations, right? You don't think the devil understand that? You don't think Satan understand that? He put that 808 track right there for you, so you could bring forth destruction to your own people in the last days, right? The music is nothing but whoredom, it's nothing but murder, it's nothing but robbery. But you know who's against? It's against your own people. You ain't even ready to go turn up and tear up the nations that destroyed your people. You want to listen to this garbage and tear down your own people. You ain't building up your own people in the last days, but that's that evil communication, that vibration you listening to, them frequencies in this music, right? That you bopping, you know what I mean, and you in the club, and and understand this. That's why it was important to open up this portion of this lesson with the same type music we grew up listening to. Hey, but now Israel turning up, man, and we making it so even your brothers that stood on them street corners, you know, doing the wrong thing for many years, that we could actually get the right vibrations and the right frequencies to know that we got the word of the Lord and we washing ourselves thoroughly. You understand, from all of our unrighteous deeds. Thus save Yahweh Yahushua, right? So let me get that First Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1.
This is the book of First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I charge thee, therefore, before God.
No. First Timothy's 4 and 1.
Salakia, my bad. I'm bad. This is the book of First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly.
Understand this, that the Spirit is upon the men of the Lord that go out on the highways and the byways in the last days, right? Understand this, the Spirit is upon the man that you see opening this word up to go through precept upon precept so you could get understanding in the last days, right? So it said that the Spirit speaketh expressly, and that's what you see when we go out there with the passion of the Lord in the last days, man, right? We speaking with edification for our people, right? But go ahead.
That in the latter times, some shall depart from the faith.
Yeah, many of our people have already departed from the faith of the Hamashiach, man. Many of our people already departed, you know, for the principal things of the scriptures, man. Go ahead.
Giving heed to seducing spirits.
And what you saw in them videos, those were seducing spirits, because many of our people are seduced by these spirits. Many of our children, they learned how to follow the ways of the Lord growing up in the house, right? We teach them righteous things, right? But when you got spirits like that, when you got heavy influence, and then they got to go out in the world and go in these schools, you understand, and mix in with all of these devils, right? Mix in with this right here. You probably got somebody walking around damn high school looking like this right now. But brother, right? When I was growing up, you understand, you go back to King Malak days, right? You all you seen was Edomites walking around with their hair looking like that, man. Ain't no brothers walking around with their hair looking like that, man. Yeah,
that's correct. That's correct.
But go ahead.
And doctrine of devils.
Doctrines of devils, right? Your music is a doctrine of devils. Anything that go outside of the scriptures is a doctrine of the devils, man. Right? If you getting your understanding from song and music and dance in the last days, that's a doctrine of devils. If it's not contained in the scriptures, right? If it's not filled up with the spirit and raising up your people in the last days, right? So that's gonna be it on that. Matter of fact, go down to the third verse.
This is verse 3. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstray from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
That's right, which believe and know the truth. You understand that? You must understand what the truth is in the last days. You have to believe on the commandments of the Lord and the laws, right? And you have to know what the truth is. You have to know that the truth that you're going
Went out, King.
Yeah, I think his whatchamajiggy went out. He's all over the place, messing with all our stuff.
I got a precept, King.
I got a yeah.
Go ahead,
bring him out.
Con. Yeah, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 13. I'm gonna read down to 15. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God and serve him and swear by his name. 14. Ye shall not go after other gods of the people which are round about you. 15. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. It's like those guys that's on that video there. You know, they don't know what they have in store for them. You know, you have to fear the Most High. You know, that's the only way you're gonna make it. You can't follow after these other gods because it's gonna lead you into the lake of fire and brimstone. I yield.
The precept I had was 2 Timothy chapter 3, starting at the top. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, Salakia, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Man, these last times, man, it's almost like people are ungodly, man, just doing all kind of wild wickedness and wretchedness, and they not even heeding to what their grandmothers and mothers told them back in the day. You know, we was kind of raised up to have an understanding of the Most High, but with the spirit that's going around on the earth these days, oh man, I'm not surprised what you see on TV and entertainment. Brothers seem like they got all kind of spirits on them, doing all kind of wickedness. I yield on that.
God. You want to hear something funny about that verse right there? Is that I showed that to one of my boys, and the only thing out of everything here, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, he didn't read any of this. The only thing he saw was disobedience to parents. And literally, he wanted to fight me over that. That's some shit for you.
Yeah, it'll be like that.
Am I back in?
Con, we can hear you out.
Con, all praise, man. Hey, look, man, you know how the enemy work. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just kick my whole internet out on this computer over here. So I'm gonna have to operate this on this phone. Lord willing, it'll be able to suffice for now.
Hey, take your time, King. You know, whatever digital shit you need, whatever digital stuff you need here, I got you.
Yeah, Con, all praises. So yeah, let's continue on with the lesson right here. Right, like let me get Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 6, right? So this is an addition to the previous lesson that we did last Wednesday, right? So we broke down the portions on Israel being mixed in with the heathen nations, and how the heathen nations have misused their time with the children of Israel, and how we've actually showed these nations many of our evil deeds, and we profane the Lord's work amongst these nations. And now it's time for us to make a mighty return, you know, to serve our power more than ever. You understand, and rehearse these righteous acts. Thus saith the Lord. So let me get Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 6, and a continuation from where we left off last week. All praise to the Most High.
Con, I got you out. This is Ezekiel 36 and 6. It says, prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen.
Because ye have done what?
It says, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen.
Man, we borne the shame of the heathen. You know, what does that mean? That means everything you do, everything the Most High separated you from, right? That made you special in his eyes. You understand? Giving you his laws, giving you his commandments, giving you his judgments for breaking those. But you born the shame of the heathen, meaning what? You gonna break these commandments and you ain't even gonna care about it. That's shameful. That's shameful to know in your spirit that you're doing wrong. And you're not gonna give a righteous supplication unto your maker, unto your creator that you know to be true. Right? So let's get it. All right, I'm trying to pull up this computer in the same time, but let me get Ezekiel chapter 36 and let me get the 16th verse to verse 19. We're gonna read that. All praise to the Most High.
Con. This is Ezekiel 36, verse 16, and it reads, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way.
Man, it says, yeah, go ahead. Matter of fact, go ahead. Yep.
It says they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman.
So we understand how the Lord set it up to separate the man from the woman during her period of menstruation, right? That we had to kind of, you know, either remove the woman or we had to remove ourselves, right? Let me see myself here. So I'm back up on this. If you could pull me in, Salakia. Salakia. Can y'all hear me?
Con.
All right, all praises. All right. Hey, the water is well. All right. So it says that we have defiled. Can y'all hear me, brothers?
Con, you sound good.
All right, Con, all praises, man. I'm getting some crazy connection errors on this computer. I might just do this on the phone, man. But so can you read the next verse? Let's just keep rolling.
Con. This is you want verse 36 and 17 or 18?
Yeah, we're gonna go to 19 on that.
Okay, Con. This is Ezekiel 36 and 18. It says, wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it.
Right, and if you go back into the many of the Old Testament scriptures that many people hate to read, right? You know, we've been breaking down many Old Testament scriptures, going into the Book of the Kings, right? Going into the Judges, right? Going into the other tribes of Israel that don't get mentioned much in the last days. and how they had, caused Israel to go off, by many of the ways we go off now. By what? You got somebody that will influence you to do the wrong things, right? So there's heavy influence in the music and the ways of the world is a deep spiritual influence to serve Satan on the children of Israel in the last days, right? So you got to choose, where you're gonna be at when it comes to this work. Can we hold that real quick? Somebody let me get the last book of Joshua in verse 15. Joshua, as a matter of fact, Joshua, grab that. Joshua 24 and I believe, let me get verse 15. Go down to the last verse. Not the last verse. Let me get verse 15. Let me see.
It's the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord Yahweh.
That's right, and that's what you see before you. You got men who are taking control of their homes in the last days, and we've made the choice, the righteous choice, to clean our wicked deeds up, and make that righteous supplication, like King David did, and actually, take time to pray and meditate and beg the Most High for His mercy and grace and forgiveness, right? But we're actually reading what makes us unclean. We're actually reading, how to the Most High can cleanse us, from anything that was put on us, right, from the world. You understand? So let's go back to Ezekiel. Let me get that 19th verse. And somebody grab Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1. Somebody let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 19. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judge them.
Right. So it says that, and I scattered them among the heathen, right? And if you go back into the other lesson, you see the thorough breakdown of Israel being amongst the heathen. You will see how the heathen have, took crafty counsel against the children of Israel, right? And they hid us from amongst the people, so we wouldn't be able to identify ourselves, and the other nations wouldn't identify us, Salati, as being God's chosen people, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 1 and 1.
Hey, Salakia, if I got some. Okay, Khan, and that's right on the nose, right? What you're saying, because when it talks about us being scattered, and of course going into the idolatry, that's literally what it says in verse 17, right? I'm gonna read this again, and if somebody can get Exodus 18 and 20. I'm gonna try to make a point real quick about what got us into all that, and it's going to say it, but I just want to bring this out. So real quick, I'm gonna get Ezekiel 36 and 17, right, 2 verses up, and it says, "Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way," right? And what is the way, right? A lot of times, the scriptures tell you that the way is the way you behave, the way we act, right? This is Exodus 18 and 20.
Yeah, I got you, King. You need me to read it for you?
Come on, bring it out.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 18 and verse 20. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws.
And what?
And laws.
And laws. So ordinances and laws. Come on.
And shalt show them the way wherein they must walk.
You see that? So the way, like he was bringing out, this is all going, and I'm sure you're going right into it.
Mm-hmm.
What got us all that is our disobedience, because our way was not the Most High's way, which is why verse 19 was talking about us being scattered amongst the heathen. That's all I want to bring out on that.
Khan, and finishing that, it says, in the work that they must do.
Khan, right? And that's the commandment, right? We got to do the work of the Lord, So even when it comes to coming out here on the YouTube and teaching our people, man, like we can't allow our people to stay in sin. So that's the work, right? We fulfilling the commandment ultimately by us teaching brothers what sin is and what God has scattered amongst the heathen, and that's right on point on what we're reading. But I'm gonna yield on that.
Khan, all praise. That's right. Beautiful, beautiful. Right, and that's the spirit, and that's why we flow through, these impactful lessons, man, because you're gonna find out it's many meat on many of these scriptures, and any righteous brother, man, with the knowledge of the Lord is gonna add on, to what's being displayed, when these words is coming out. So let's just identify, real quick, who we talking about here, right? Who these scriptures talking about? Go ahead. Deuteronomy 1:1.
I got it. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all
So this the book
Israel.
of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1 says, these be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Oh, he must not
right?
be
Unto all Israel, right? So let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 on the screen for the people. Right? So Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And that's what you see happening to the children of Israel for their disobedience. So the Most High gave you, through the spirit of Moses, a chance to come out of Egypt, clean yourself up, acknowledge all your wrongdoings, and keep his law, statutes, and commandments, and also understand the judgments for breaking those law, statutes, and commandments, right?
Shuv, can you hear me?
Can y'all hear me?
Con.
Can y'all hear
I got
me?
a message over here.
We can hear you, Matthias.
Yeah,
all right,
we got you.
I don't think Shuv can hear me though.
All right, so let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 63. Somebody, please. Salati.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 63. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you.
Right. So understand this, right? The Lord wants to rejoice over his chosen seed in the earth, right? To do you good. But the only way he's going to be able to do that is if you're obedient, no differently than a father and a mother in this earth that we, have accustomed ourselves to, right? If your child wants a gift or if your child wants something, you don't just spoil your child without correction. You allow those children to grow in age and to see right from wrong, but you also give them duties, you give them orders, right? You give them chores, you give them things that they can earn to, acquire certain things from you. You just don't give them, without no level of order, right? So you rejoice over your children when they're doing right things. So when they come to you and they say, you know what, can I get so and so and so and so? Hey, it's no problem. Here you go. You understand? I love you. You know what I mean? You've been doing well. Here you go. Take that right there. That's a blessing. You bless me, so I'm blessing you in the same like manner. So that's how the Lord wants his children to be in the earth, right? So it says to do you good and to multiply you. Go ahead, brother.
so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy father have known, even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone, right? So it says, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people. Understand that, Israel, for those that don't know, all right, their true heritage in the last days and what they must do, right? What is the heritage of Israel? What did they lose, right? Let me get Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse 10, I believe, my brothers, real quick, right? Because we got to make everything plain for our people in the last days, right? Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 17. Yep, that's what I want. Yep.
You said 17:10?
17 and verse 10.
Khan, this book Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
And the elect shall praise his holy name.
And that's what you see right now, right? You're looking, Lord willing, many of these men you see right here on the screen is part of the elect, all praise to the Most High Yahweh Yahushua. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge
and
the law of life.
And the what?
And the law of life for an heritage.
Understand this, all right? If you read in these scriptures in the last days and you don't understand that you are the children of Israel that fell away from the covenant, you broke God's law, statutes, and commandments, so he punished you thoroughly, and he scattered you amongst these nations for them to rule over you for your disobedience. But he gave you knowledge to rule over these nations. He gave you the law to rule over this earth. That's your inheritance. Not what your father passed down to you, not what your uncle leave you or your grandfather that was wealthy. The law and the commandments, right, is a light to those that seek to serve him in righteousness in the last days, right?
God precept.
That's all I wanted on that. All praise to the Most High. Let me go back to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, and let me get verse 19 through 22. Let's get it.
Hey, somebody tell him I got a precept for him.
Calm. I thought had or Ephraim had a precept.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, Calm. It's a glitch.
Yeah, it's my connection. But if he wants to read it, go ahead and read it. Let him read it. Because the book of Psalms can hear him.
Psalms.
I see it, so let him read it.
He's reading it.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 11. It says, "Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. I have inclined
so
mine
this is
heart."
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 11. All praise. That's a beautiful precept, my brother Ephraim. Hey, look, the enemy is on attack mode right now, man. So it says, "Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever." You see that? And that's what we were supposed to be as the children of Israel, right? We're supposed to take that law forever, right? For they are the rejoicing of my heart. Verse 11 says, "I have inclined mine heart to perform thy statutes always, even unto the end." And that's what you see the men of the Lord going out on the highways and the byways to endure, hardships from family members, from the world, right? Because our people are mixed into the world and mixed into the nations and the heathens. So, we got to separate ourselves from that. That's why we look different to everybody. Even to our family members that knew us our whole life, they're like, "Damn, what's wrong with this brother? He tripping. He ain't coming around for the cookouts no more. Right? He ain't coming out, for Christmas no more, man. This brother, what he's part of a cult, he done left the church. He ain't doing, the song and the dance no more, man. But, I'm studying these precepts. I'm studying these laws. Thus save Yahweh Yahushua, right? All praise to the Most High. That's right. And that's what this lesson is. We giving thanks, right, to the Most High, man. The water Yahweh, Dawada Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Kahala Yahweh Bashim Yahshah, Barakatah, man. And that's the spirit of the Lord that got to befall the children of Israel in the last days, man. Right? We're mighty warriors standing up for truth in the last days, right?
Come.
Ezekiel 36, verse 19 through 22.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries. According to their way and according to their doings, I judged them. And verse 20. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name.
They did what?
They profaned my holy name.
Right. They profaned the holy name of the Lord. Right. And what did we do? We allowed the heathen, right, through their mistranslations of our records to further confuse our people. You see that? So where you know the enemy would come in and try to insert different texts within our records, we would never go back to the original thought. We would never go back to the original origin of the language that it was written in, but we would start to look at this as so, right? So when we say the you know what the Masoretic text is, right? And what the Masoretes did. What did they do? What did they do to our records to confuse our people when we look up that word Lord? So it said that these are the people of the Lord and are gone forth out of his land. You understand? So we've gone forth out of the Most High's land because of what we did in the sight of these nations, because of our disobedience to the Lord, right? But go ahead, keep reading, my brother. What verse you on?
Verse 20. When they said to them, these are the people of Yahweh and are gone forth out of his land. But I have pity for my holy name.
He said he had pity for his holy name. You better start learning what his holy name is, right? Go ahead.
Which the house of Israel had profaned among the heathen whither they went.
Go ahead.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel.
Oh, who?
O house of Israel.
O house of Israel. I do this not for your sake, right? Because people go out here, we like, yeah, man, I'm Israel. It's all about me. I want to be on the camera. Hey, man, the hell with this camera, man. I don't care what this camera do, right? I don't care about being in the front of the class, right? But you want to know what? I want to be on the front line, man, destroying these heathens. I want to be on the front line, taking back the kingdom. I want to be on the front line, showing our people the right way to go in the last days, man. All right, go ahead.
But for mine holy name's sake.
And that's what this lesson is about. This lesson about for his holy name's sake. When are you going to come back and understand what his holy name is, right? Not to misuse that name, not to just say it whenever thou pleases, right? Not to just say, oh, okay, yeah, I know the name of the Lord. Let me just say it in vain for no reason, right? When we understood the name of the Most High, we prayed upon that name, right? We asked the Most High to save us and guide us. You understand? And protect us in battles and wars. We didn't misuse the name of the Lord. We understood when to use that mighty name, right? When we was in power and rulership, right? So it says for his holy name, he's not doing this for your sake, Israel, but he's doing this for his holy name's sake, right? Go ahead.
Which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went.
All right, stop right there, right? So it says, therefore, now we're going to stay right at 22 for right now. So it says, therefore, say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God. Let's break it down. All right. Let me get Genesis 1:1, right? Because everybody, you say, yeah, man, yeah, I know God. I know the name of God. I know God, right? God is, God is God. Hey, but you are God. What's the difference? Can we just identify the name of our creator with just by the word Lord? No. In the beginning, what does it say? Let's go into the Hebrew. Let's show the people. Let's teach the people.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1.
Go ahead.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Stop right there. So it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So we think, oh man, that's just talking about God. One. But when we go to that word right there, that's Elohim, meaning
Strong's H
this is a plural act of creation that's taking place right here. Right? We're not just talking about one creator or one power.
Second
right?
entry.
Plural. Understand
Elohim.
that, right?
Elohim.
So when you go into that, it says God.
And
right?
the third
go back
entry.
up real quick. Well, matter of fact, stay right there. We could do this right there. Go back down. So it's plural, right? Go down to the usage. Yeah. So it says rulers, right? Rulers, judges. No. Yeah, right there. Rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, right? God, goddesses, God-like one. Okay? Understand that. That's all I want on that. So go to verse 26, Malak.
Verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, let us make man in our image.
Who said?
Let us make man in our image.
So it said, and God said, let us make man in our image. Further clarification right there in the first portion of the book to show you that this is talking about multiple powers that are doing the creation bidding here in our image, right? For our likeness, right? Understand that. You got to start going back to learn how to read and simplify things again, because the children of Israel is going to make wise the simple in the last days, right? So let's go back to the book of Ezekiel at that 22nd verse, and let's see what we see here, right? So can we pull up? Yeah, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, and while our brothers is pulling that up, I just want to just touch on that word gods, right? Even when you go into this precept, this is Exodus 22 and 28. Because that one of those definitions said rulers, right? Or judges, or people that have the authority. This is Exodus 22:28. It says, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Right? So it's a law for us to like be in subjection to the elders, right? To the brothers that rule over us, that teach us, righteous brothers that teach us. I'm gonna read it again. It says, thou shalt not revile the gods, right? Nor curse the ruler of thy people. You're not cursing, right? Or disrespecting, blatant disrespect the rulers of the people that's putting this information into our system and teaching us this word in truth and sincerity. But that's all I want to bring out on that, because we also know Psalm 82 and 6 also calls the rulers gods. You are gods, right? But you die like men. So we're the rulers, and the future rulers. You're looking at the Elohim or Elohim, which is plural.
That's right. All praise. We're gonna go there in a minute. That's on the ballot. So let's go back to 22. From here, what I want, and this is look, Israel, and the people watching that may not understand how we break down scripture, precept upon precept, how we get understanding in the last days. We actually have to go into the markers of these words, because you must understand. Matter of fact, can somebody give me the prologue in the book of Sirach to understand why we're doing this right now, right? Where's my apocrypha? I got it right here. You know where that is, right? In the prelogue. Of the book of Sirach.
Somebody tell me it's on screen.
Khan, Ephraim put on the screen.
Come on, prologue made by an uncertain author.
Yeah. It's just a portion that I want here. Okay. So I'll just go down to the, let me see where you at here. Go down a little bit, Ephraim. So it says, let me see. So it looks like you're on the first portion of that. Go back to the let me see. Is that the whole thing? Wisdom. Let me see.
Khan, that's the whole thing.
You want the Hebrew part,
right there.
Shuf?
Yeah, Khan, stay right there. So read right here. Highlight where it says, where you see, according to the law, wherefore let me entreat you. Right? You see that portion? Highlight that, and somebody read that real quick. Matter of fact, let's not go that crazy. Let's just get to the point. Yeah, wherefore let me entreat you, right? Where's that at?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got it, Shuf.
Right there. Go ahead.
Wherefore, this is the prologue of Sirach. Wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated in another tongue have not the same force in them.
So understand this, right? When you're translating the scriptures, if you're not going back to the original form of the language barriers, it ain't gonna have the same force in them, y'all. You're just gonna get God. You're just gonna get Lord, without understanding that there's many different meanings and understandings from what those words represent from the original tongue. So that's why we teach what we teach. That's why we break down what we break down. That's why every brother that go out and do this work, study to show themselves approved, so that we can make wise the simple, so we can make it plain for our people to put on tables in the last days, right? Go ahead, read that portion right there that he got.
But the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language.
There you go. All right, understand that. Understand what it is and what we're doing right here. So let's go back to that 22nd verse in the book of Ezekiel, right? So let me get that that word God highlighted in all upper cases right there. All right. So what do you have here? Yehovah, right? Which gives you what? When you break that down, you see it's going to give you the same barrier of Lord, uppercase, thoroughly, right? So you're getting the same portion of the same force here. You're getting the same power. That's why they have Jehovah right there, right? So we're going to understand that it's not the same, but we know through the Spirit how to make these scriptures sing for you, right? So we know that in the other translation that you get right there, you see God in the same letters. It says different. It says Jehovah, right? We know it's Yahweh. We speaking of Yahweh here. Matter of fact, let me send you something while we're doing this too, brother Ephraim. But go to Lord real quick in that next verse. So let's get the Lord portion of that in the next verse to see what we're doing here. No, not that one. Not that one. Go out. Go out real quick. The next verse, 23. Go down right here to that Lord. all caps. Okay, so now you see the difference, right? So now you see it is they switched it up for you. It gives you, right? It's not your whole V, but your how we say, right? Yahweh or Yahweh. Understand that? Okay, so we're talking about the same one, right? The existing one, not in the not in the book of Exodus. Okay, for those that understand that, I am that I am. Yeah, not to become, right? Not something that will become something, all right? But this portion of power was in existing from the very beginning. This portion of power was the Ancient of Days who sent forth the other portions of gods that you see there, the Elohim, right? The Elohim, to go and to create in the earth, right?
Come.
Let me get this for you from real quick. But go back to the book of Ezekiel. Read verse 22 again.
Come, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 22. Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake, which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. And I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned amongst the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord Yahweh, and when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Go ahead.
Verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries.
So it says, for I will take you from among the heathen, right? And I will gather you. I found what I was looking for, by the way. If I'm getting ready to send that to you right now. I'm gonna send it to you in multiple. Read that one more time real quick. Somebody give me Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1.
This is Ezekiel 36, verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and will bring you into your own land.
Right.
Verse 25. Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you.
All right, stop right there. So let me get Jeremiah, Salati. Let me get Jeremiah chapter 3 real quick, right?
From the top.
Jeremiah 3, verse 1. So it says, and I will, it says, verse 22, it says, therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord, right? Thy power, which we know is Yahweh, right? I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which ye have profaned amongst the heathen, right? So yeah, go ahead and play that clip real quick.
I forgot a commandment. I just went from delivery from a house from Egypt and the house of bondages, and or slaves or whatever, servants, the house of servants, and I started right into not making yourself a idol. You know, I started right into that, and then he realizes somewhere along the line, at what point, like he looks like he continued to write.
So you got the heathen breaking this down for you.
Take up. Not to Uphold. Et down here, that's missing. The aleph is gone. The ta is there. Et Shem. Yahweh. The name of the Lord.
Wow.
Don't take up the name of the Lord.
All right, you can stop right there.
Yeshua.
That's deep.
All right. So we got the heathen
Wow.
breaking down, making it plain for you. You right? If we not doing, hey, we know how people, you mixed amongst the strangers, so we do what the strangers do. So we got to show you the strangers understand the Most High's name too. I thought you knew.
Salakia.
Yeah, go ahead, King. Welcome.
Shalom. Is that that was the lost lunar stone, right? The one they got in New Mexico?
Qam.
Yeah, I seen that video too.
Hey, Salakia, can I say something right quick, Shoes?
Hey, speak your piece, brother.
Hey, I've been reading that history of the American Indians by James Adair, and he backs that up. He was a fur trader that lived with him during the 1700s, and he also says that the so-called American Indians, the Gadites as we know it, that's what they called their creator, their the Heavenly Father, called him Yahweh or Yahweh. So Khan, that's another source to back that up, King.
Hey, that's right. You understand? Because the natives to this land, they spoke that breath of life. You understand?
That's
so
right.
even they know that when you take a breath, inhale and exhale, that you're actually saying the name of the Most High, the Creator, that
That's
put
right.
the breath of life within you. You see that? So it's very deep and spiritual when you break it down to understand, right? So this is the Decalogue stone right here that the brother pulled up.
They said in a lot of their movies also, when they're out singing, you could get, if you really listen to them, you can hear them say Yahweh.
That's right. Many of the ancient chants, through our our indigenous people to this land, you understand, sing those through the mountains, man, and they had total understanding of what the Creator's name was, before they polluted his name. You see, they injected the other deities to be within that mix, so we would be thrown off when we actually say the name of the Most High, right? They purposely did that to get us to serve other gods. Right. So through the spirit, I couldn't even hear that video, but I know it. So all praise to the Most High. So let's go ahead and go to Jeremiah chapter 3 real quick.
Khan, this book of Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Ye return again to me, saith the Most High. Lift up thy eyes unto the high places, and see where thou hast not been lean with. In the ways hast thou sat for them.
All right, stop right there, Salakia. Let me get verse 12.
Come, verse 12. Go and profane, Salakia, go and proclaim these words toward the north, and say, return thou backsliding Israel, saith the Most High. And I would not cause my anger to fall upon you, for I am merciful, saith the Most High.
Right, so we
and I would not,
Most High, we speak in the Most High's name in everything that we say, right? It says, saith Yahweh when you go into that right there, that word Lord. You see it all over the scriptures. So wherever you see the Most High's name in that uppercase letter form right there, know that's talking about the Father. Okay.
Go
ahead.
Come, and I would not keep anger forever. Only acknowledge thy iniquity.
Only the Most High only wants you to acknowledge your iniquity, right? The Most High only wants you to see your fault and your wrongdoings. You understand, so that he can clean you up thoroughly in the last days in the sight of these heathens, because we got to make the Most High's name a flaming fire amongst these nations in the last days. We got to show the nations that praise us in song and dance and war, you know, these damn NFL football, basketball games, all these gymnasium acts that we've grown to, show forth our strength, show forth. We think that's our heritage, is playing sports and singing songs and stuff like that. That's all we got. Right? We the rulers of the earth. These people know the divine nine. They know who you are. They know where the power is, but you ain't taking your power back. We trying to take back the kingdom, man. Go ahead.
Only acknowledge thine iniquity, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree.
Under every green tree, these strangers have seen your evil works. Right? When we going to show these strangers our righteous works? When we going to show these strangers how to keep the commandments? When we going to show these strangers that, we done playing games and buck dancing and break dancing for you? When we going to want to take back the kingdom under every green tree?
Somebody give them a heads up for me. Can you hear me, Shuv?
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, you can't. Oh, crap. Okay. So I was gonna say that you notice it
Can
says,
y'all hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Notice it says every green tree and not every olive tree.
Verse 14 says, "Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion." Right? Hey, brother Malak, you there?
Khan.
Oh, okay.
Hey, he didn't get nothing I said.
Yes, brother. Yeah.
You said continue on, Shu?
Yes, brother.
Verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
What shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So understand this. For many of our family members that we battle with within the spirit, many of our loved ones don't understand this ancient spirit, right? They used to us being effeminate men, right? Not knowing how to stand up for ourselves, not knowing to protect the homes, not knowing our true power, right? But we were supposed to take up this helm of our true power in the last days and stand up like mighty warriors for the Hamashiach Yahushua, who laid down his life for his people, for his children, for us to come back to be able to speak boldly in the last days, right? So it says that for he is married unto us, right? The Most High in the Hamashiach Yahushua, right, who the world ignorantly calls God in Christ, right, is married unto you. You have a part to come back to. You see that? And so that's why the first portion of that verse, Jeremiah 3:1, is important, because you have to return back to the Most High, right? No matter what your evil deeds was, no matter what your uncleanness is, no matter what's going on with you, you must clean that spirit. You must clean that vessel and put back on the spirit of the Lord that died for you, right? But go ahead, verse 15.
Verse 15, and I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Verse 16, and it shall come to pass when ye be multiplied and increased in the land in those days, saith the Most High, they shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it, neither shall that be done anymore.
Understand this.
Verse 7.
No, that's it. Understand this. Where's the Ark of the Covenant at? Who knows where the Ark of the Covenant at is in the last days? Do you know that's our job to reclaim the Ark of the Covenant, so that we could send that back to where it came from the beginning? We're the only ones that can touch that Ark of the Covenant. These nations, they can't touch it. They talking about we got 13 Ark of the Covenants, right? But understand this: the Most High did that to confuse the enemy. The Ark of the Covenant is going to be revealed to the children of Israel in the last days, right? You get that in the books of Maccabees, right? If you study to show yourself approved, right? So let's go back to the book of Ezekiel, in 36 and 22 one more time, and we're gonna get that word God. Somebody, let me grab Exodus chapter 7 verse 1. And this is gonna go into what the brother Raham was just bringing out in that portion of rulers, right? And breaking down gods, because we're gods as well. You see that in order to understand the scriptures, we were supposed to be rulers. We were supposed to be in certain positions of power over the people. You understand? So that's what gave us that title of being a god. All right. So read that real quick.
You want that Ezekiel, King?
Khan.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 22.
No. Let me get Exodus 7 verse 1. And let me get Psalms 82 verse 6. Yeah, brother Marcus, your mic. Yeah, Khan, brother, we love you.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
Understand that, right? The Lord have made Moses a god unto Pharaoh. So you got to understand that position was something that was placed on the children of Israel in the ancient world. So when you see brothers walking around in modern times saying, yeah, hey, what's good, God? How you doing, God? You know what I mean? What's good, King? You feel me? It's the same way. We've always spoke that way. You understand? We've always, lifted up a brother's spirit to know you are a person of power and strength, right? So let me get Psalms 82 verse 6.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men.
But you're going to die like men. You see that? Because you don't want to keep the commandments of life, right? The laws of life. All of these things is what, point us in the right direction. The commandments is a lamp, that guides us in the last days to show us, many of the signs and wonders that's taking place right now in the earth, right? All right. So let me get
I got a precept, okay?
Yeah, your mic is messed up, my brother. If you want to put it in the chat and we can read it. Yeah, all praises. Deuteronomy 28 and 58, and we get a brother a second for his precept in the chat.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 58. if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book.
So understand this, right? We were supposed to do all of the law, everything written within the right. Somebody grab that scripture right there, St. John chapter 10, verse 34 for the brother. All praise to the Most High, right? So it says we were supposed to do all of the laws written of within the book, right? And we went through the first portion of this to so you can understand that there would be blessings and cursings that would be put on God's chosen people. It ain't just gonna be blessings, okay? Go ahead.
That thou mayest fear.
No. Let's read this brother's precept. So St. John's, right? It's the book of St. John, chapter 10 and verse 34. So it says, Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods? So listen at this right here, y'all. Look at the revealing of this. Hey, highlight that real quick, Ephraim. We're gonna teach the people how to go back and read in the last days. It says Jesus, who we know, right? We call on Yahweh in the last days, okay? If you call him, whatever you're comfortable with, so be it. I ain't gonna argue with that, right? But understand this: Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law? And he said, I said, ye are gods.
Oh, praise.
You better understand where your laws came from, right? that was who you call, right? For the for the people who may not have the same understanding that we have when it comes to breaking down these scriptures. No disrespect. You just must learn again, right? But it clearly says, with the understanding of the Spirit of the Lord, that the powers did the creating. When you read the book of Hebrews, you understand that it was Jesus, who the world calls Jesus, right? Did the creation aspect of what it is that we see, everything that we see, right? So it says, I said, ye are gods. Understand this, that it was who you call Jesus that gave the law to Moses that you say we don't got to keep because of Jesus. So you're actually breaking the covenant in the law that he brought forth, that he kept himself to show you and give you strength to know that you can keep it. Understand that. And if you need that, it's in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. But go ahead. Let me get Psalms 83, verse 18, after you read Deuteronomy 28 and 58. Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 58. Mm-hmm. If thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name.
And you got to start to fear this glorious and fearful name right here for his name's sake, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Right? Go back to that Lord right there. See that? Yahweh, right? Meaning the existing one, the one that's been before and put forth the creation for you to be created today through the power and spirit of the Mashiach Yahushua. So let's just go down to that uppercase God. Let's just show that just because you see that there, that it ain't the same. You see that's giving you powers. Hey, you should be really trying to question these things in the last days to figure out rather, I think you've been lied to your whole life when it comes to understanding this Bible. You don't really understand the book of Genesis. You don't understand your creator. You don't understand the Hamashiach Yahushua, right?
Hey, Salaki, if I may as well, they
Go
don't
ahead,
even
King.
understand John 1:1.
Go ahead, get it. Go
You
ahead,
know,
get it,
that
King.
goes back to that Genesis 1:1, right? But that's another subject for a different day. But it goes back again to that understanding of what God was. It was plural, or it's plural. You know, so this is where
That's
they
right.
get this understanding of a Trinity, where they say Jesus Christ is the Most High God. That's why we call him the Most High God, because there's gods. Even Satan's called a god. You know, but that's it on that.
That's right, King. So with that, let me get Psalms chapter 83, verse 18. Psalms 83, verse 18.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 18. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh,
is what?
Is Yahweh.
Yeah, you see Jehovah there, uppercase, or everything. But can we go into that Jehovah right there, all uppercase and everything? Let's see what we talking about. Once again. Hey, listen. By two or more witnesses, let it stand. Once again, the existing one. Go ahead.
The Ancient of Days.
The Ancient of Days. And he created a warrior that would be like himself, that will put on that same image, right? And we supposed to put on that same image in the last days of immortality. You know, do you truly believe that you have that spirit right there to overcome all your demons, right? To overcome this world that we see, to be able to become immortal beings in the last days, right? We'll see. Hey, you can go off. You can always come back, right? You can come back. Righteous man falleth 7 times, right?
But don't tarry.
Yeah, don't tarry. Don't take too long. Most High ain't gonna wait forever. So let me just get another one on that guy real quick. Let me get Daniel. This is just an add-on. Let me get Daniel chapter 3. All right. Let me get Daniel chapter 3 and verse 28.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
So it says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God. Let's stop right there. Can you pull that God up real quick? Let's see if we're talking about the same thing. Let's see where this come from. Yeah, we breaking it down right here, right? So listen, understand this right here, right? This is where the so you see this is now go back down right there, Elu, right? Okay, go back down. You see that right there in the definition right there, Aramaic. Okay, so the Elu, which gives you where your Muslim brothers and your Arabic brothers get their name of Allah from, right? So this is where they learned, where Muhammad learned from the Israelites to understand how to serve one power, how to serve one God, right? from right here, from this passage right here. This is where they get it. All right. But go back to the verse. So it says, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Okay. So that's the spirit that you're going to see upon the men of the Lord in the last days, that, you know, hey, we're going to walk through that fire. Blessed be Yahweh, right? Why Yahweh Shai, man. We're going to be delivered through all of, you know, the mighty, you know, evil messengers that's going to hit this place, right? Those missiles that are going to hit this place, the fire, the destruction that's going to hit this place. Everything that's written aforetime is written for our learning. You got to understand that this, what these brothers went through right here, was written for the children of Israel's learning. So you don't fear that fire when you see it. You walk through it through the spirit and power of the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, right? So let me go back to the book of Ezekiel. Anybody got something on that? Let me get the book of Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 22. All right, we're gonna start winding on down here a little bit. What time we at? All right, all praise.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 22.
And let me go to 25 on that. And somebody, let me get the book of Numbers, chapter 8, verse 5. Go ahead.
You want me to start at 22, King?
Yeah, Con.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel,
mm-hmm.
Thus saith Yahweh, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for mine holy name's sake,
mm-hmm.
which ye have profaned among the heathen, whither ye went. And I sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh.
That I am who?
That I am Yahweh.
Go ahead.
Saith the Lord Yahweh,
mm-hmm.
when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes.
Right. And that's what you see with the men of the Lord that go out on the highways and the byways, that is proclaiming this truth to be so in the last days for our people. We're sanctifying that holy name. We're cleaning ourselves up through that holy name and that spirit that would only be placed upon the children of Israel to come back and serve the Lord in righteousness, to seek out these laws, right? To understand all of our wrongdoings, to come back and serve him so that we can rule over the earth that belong to us, right? Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 24. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries.
That's right. I'm going to take you one of a city, right? And two of a household. Go ahead. Two of a family. Go ahead.
And will bring you into your own land.
And the Lord's are going to bring us back to our own land, right? So that's what we should be looking forward to in these times that we're in. We should be ready for this place to be done away with, because we understood from the time that we was in our youth. Our grandmothers understood from the time that they was in their youth that this place was written to be destroyed. But we forgot that somewhere. Somewhere they put distractions and pollutions in our midst so that we wouldn't look for this great day no more, right? We would think that, hey, I'm comfortable going to work every day. I'm comfortable with the house I got. I'm comfortable with the car I got. Hey, listen, I'm comfortable with oppression, right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols.
Blessed be the Lord, right? It said, now I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness and from all your idols. Let me get the book of Numbers chapter 8, right? Let's see let's go back and study, right? Let's see where this cleansing came from. Okay. Anybody want to read?
Con, you said verse 5.
Con.
Con, this Numbers 8 and 5. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the Levites from among the children of Israel and cleanse them.
Mm-hmm.
And thus shalt thou do unto them to cleanse them.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle water of purifying upon them,
Mm-hmm.
and let them shave all their flesh, and let them wash their clothes, and so make themselves clean.
All right, so stop right there real quick, right? Is just a bath that the Most High is giving to the Levites, right? He's just sprinkling, water as we think. It's why we got to go and break this stuff down, right? So you might not understand this because when you keep going down and reading, and through the sake of time, we may have time to get there. If not, please do so and read these scriptures and these chapters for yourself. But in understanding this was to give an atonement for the Levites because of what? Let's understand. Let's see what that sprinkling water is. Ephraim, can you go into the Hebrew right there and pull up that sprinkle in that water? Let's go to the water right there real quick. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, keep right. So here you go, right? Go into the to this portion right here in the Strong's in the definition where you see ma'im, right? Dual primitive noun, but use singular in sense of water, figurative juice, right? And urine and semen, piss, wasting, and water, right? So anything that would defile you is what the Most High is purging from the Levites right now, and for you to understand that. So these are many of the things that we're polluted with today, which would keep us from coming to the congregation, right? We couldn't go into the temple with these things attached to us, right? So go back. And it says, let me see, get that purifying right there. Look at that. So it says sin, a sin offering, right? A punishment, a purification, right? A sin offering, condition of sin, guilt of sin, punishment for sin, a sin offering. And we know that the children of Israel, through the Levites, took on that spirit to do these many services for the children of Israel. So this was the portion of the Levite. This was the Most High had to put these uncleannesses on the Levites first, so that they can cleanse themselves. And through that spirit in this agreement that they made in this act right here, the nation of Israel became clean
Hey,
in the
somebody
sight of
tell
the
me it's
Lord.
breaking up.
So understand in the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, where it's talking about the Lord will sprinkle that water upon the children of Israel, it's talking about a purification. It's talking about a sin offering. And it's talking about them coming back totally cleansed in the last days from any filth, right? The Most High, he can wound you and he can heal you. You understand? And so that's what he's putting on us in the last days is the healing portion from all our wrongdoings, rather if it's meats, rather if it's women, rather if it's any form of lust or anything that you can do to cause you to be outside of the spirit of the Lord. these things were put on us purposely so we can purge ourselves in the last days. We had to become unclean in order to become clean again, is what I'm saying, right? Mm-hmm. But go back. I missed that message there, Ephraim. I don't know if that was. Let me see. All right. So yeah, keep reading on that. Let's just go through that, Yashawan.
Verse 8. It says, "Then let them take a young bullock with his meat offering, even fine flour mingled with oil. And another young bullock shalt thou take for a sin offering. And thou shalt bring the Levites before the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt gather the whole assembly of the children of Israel together. And thou shalt bring the Levites before the Lord. And the children of Israel shall put their hands upon the Levites. And Aaron shall offer the Levites before the Lord for an offering of the children of Israel, that they may execute the service of the Lord. And the Levites shall lay their hands upon the heads of the bullocks. And thou shalt offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering unto the Lord, to make an atonement for the Levites."
To make an atonement for the Levites, and in the same way, when each brother that keeps the Day of Atonement in righteousness, we're doing that to purify ourselves. We're doing that to cleanse ourselves from that year. That's, any sin that we may have had, any quarrel that we may have had with a brother or sister, right? Your wife, your husband, anything, right? Your children, the congregation, right? You come and you make an atonement for any of those sins that you committed unto the Most High, to purify and cleanse yourself from year to year. That's the true New Year's resolution, by the way. They stole that from the book. Come back to your book. All praise to the Most High. Let me get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, and let's go 25 to 26.
And this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 25. Then I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
So look, the same thing we just did in the book of Numbers. When you go through the Hebrew and break down that sprinkle and that water and all that, it's going to give you the same thing from the book of Numbers. All right, go ahead.
Verse 26. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh.
All right, stop right there, right? Let me get the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 21, right? Because now you got to understand what's wrong with the children of Israel's heart, right? Why does the Lord have to put a new heart within you? Why does the Lord have to put a new spirit upon the children of Israel in the last days, right? But go ahead.
You want that Mark?
Mark 7:21.
It says, "For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, and evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile the man."
So understand this. The Lord has to take away all of these evil things listed right here. That's what's in your mind. Your heart is your mind. It says It says, for from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts. Your heart, the true heart, is that center of your mind that you get all of these wicked ideas from, right? You may go to sleep. You've been watching wrong movies, the windows, of your soul, your eyes, you projecting things that shouldn't be there. You understand? You got the women that is going off. They're going off. You on your phone. You looking at something, and it ain't right. But you got to understand that that's where these things are coming from. They're coming from your thoughts. These things are evil if you're operating outside of the spirit of the Lord, right?
So like, can I get a precept on that?
Absolutely.
Khan, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. That's it on that.
That's right. So it says the heart is deceitful above all things, which is your mind. Your mind is deceitful. Your mind will cause you to go off in the last days and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Yahweh knows it. Yahweh Shai knows it. Right? That's who know your heart. That's who know your mind. Right? So let's go to that spirit. Let me get the book of Galatians chapter 5 and verse 12 through 21. All right, let's deal with that spirit that the Lord has to put upon the children of Israel to cleanse us, right? Verse 12.
This the book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
I would they were even cut off, which trouble you.
And you're gonna find out, man, we're troubled in the last days, man. We battling with wives, we battling with children, we battling with family members, we battling with strangers on the streets, right? We battling with our own people that don't even want to acknowledge that they even believe in this book anymore, right? We are amongst many Satan worshipers in the last days, man. They don't got the spirit of the Lord in them at all. They got little Uzi Vert. Go ahead.
Come, verse 13. For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh,
mm-hmm.
but by love serve one another.
Mm-hmm.
For all the law is fulfilled in one word.
Go ahead.
Even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Stop right there. Somebody get Leviticus 19:17 real quick. Right? It says, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17 says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You understand that? Your job, there's a book of Judges for a reason, right? There's a book of Kings for a reason, right? The Lord didn't come in the spirit to put his son in the earth to walk this earth in righteousness, to keep all the laws and the commandments so you could freely walk the earth with no judgment, with no law. Because if that's the case, right, we might as well just go to the church, take all the money, right? Flip over the altars, take the bread, the wine, right? Burn the crosses, all that stuff, right? What's the value of it? It's in vain. If there's no law, if we're free from the law, then listen, I'm free from just taking what I want from thou, my brother. Am I my brother's keeper?
That's right.
Go back. Go back to Galatians.
This is the book of Galatians chapter 5 verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed by one another.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
Right. How many of us really trying to put on that spirit to overcome the lust of this flesh? Right. That's your true battle. Your true battle is with yourself, observing and acknowledging yourself, looking at your own wrongdoings in the mirror. Right. Don't be so quick to point the finger at somebody else. Identify your own fault first before you try to tell somebody else what's going on in the last days. Go ahead.
Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would.
Right. So that ye can not do the things that ye would. Meaning what? From the time that you was a little boy, a little girl, you understood the things that you should do. Right? You understood that you had a praying grandmother, a praying grandfather. Right? You understood that you grew up in that church at one point in time and you knew which way you should go. But now we got to come out here with this book and take it back in the last days and let you know that this is the way that you shall go. You see your teachers, you see your pastors, you see the men speaking the truth in the last days for you. We're not mixing it up. We're not flipping it and turning it to fit our own agenda. No, we flipping it and turning it upside down so you can get that garbage out your mind and understand the Lord's agenda, okay? Go ahead.
Verse 18. But if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law.
Oh, it is. I'm free from the law now. I'm free. I've got the spirit on me, man. Yeah, Lord Almighty, I'm good. I don't got to do nothing else. Thus saith the Lord. He did everything for me. He paved the way. He took the wheel. It is right there. He took the wheel, y'all. Yeah, now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. Right? There it is right there. That's your man. That's your guy.
Free will.
Free will. Free will to do as thou will. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are
Let's get into the works of the flesh now. Go ahead.
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, Salakia, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies, envying, murders, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past.
He going back to times past now. He going back to the Old Testament, y'all.
That they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Hey, if you're not going back to the Old Testament, if you're not going back to the things that was written aforetime for your learning, right? Because he said in times past that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
Precept.
Go ahead.
I got two precepts.
Speaking
on just you were speaking about the learning. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
There you go. There go the comforter right there. The scriptures, y'all. We have comfort through the word, right? John 1:1, right? The word became flesh, y'all. We have comfort through these scriptures. That's where your learning come from. That's where your understanding come from. But go ahead, brother. Go on your precept.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 29. Yahweh answered and said unto them, Ye do error, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of the Most High.
You do
Can't go wrong.
error not knowing the scriptures. Do you truly know the scriptures? Do you truly understand if what thou readest? Or you just playing? You better get with people who understand what they're reading in the last days instead of sitting there bearing false witness against your neighbor and saying that the gospel that we're teaching is hate, without love and affection, without compassion, without spirit, because you don't understand the God we serve. You don't understand the Creator.
Khan, that Galatian scripture that was speaking on that we are not under the law because of the Spirit, is that talking about, what was that, Khan 5:18? So was that talking about the law that was given coming out of Egypt, or was that talking about the law of our flesh?
So it says, but if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Why does it say that? Because everything that comes and follows after what the flesh works, right? You understand these are all attached to sins. Okay. So when you break down all of these evil works right here that we commit as sins upon the earth right here, everything that you see listed there, if you're in the spirit, these will not be attached to you. So if you're doing these things right here, your flesh is winning the battle. So if you ain't looking your demons in the eyes and putting off these evil works that are attached to you, if you can't look and see you're a drunkard, if you can't look and see you're a murderer, right? If you got hatred in your heart, you're a murderer for your brother. If you're envying of things that don't belong to you, you're in the midst of the flesh. So you gotta put all of these things away. That way, hey, if you're perfect at that point in understanding this, you've put on the spirit of the Hamashiach Yahushua, because now you're not under the law. You're operating within the law, so you're not under what causes the barriers that you went off from.
Khan. So I asked that because can we say that the following scripture 19, 20, 21 is describing the law of the flesh? Khan. So I have two precepts to go along with that.
Go ahead, King.
Khan, in 2nd Esdras 3 and 20. If you could get that for me real quick. Khan. So at 17, it says, it come to pass when thou leddest his seed out of Egypt, and thou broughtest them up to the Mount Sinai, just to give a little context, the bowings of heavens, thou didst set fast the earth, movest the whole world, and madest the depths to tremble, and troublest the men of that age. And thy glory went through the four gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. So again, that law is talking about that law that was given coming out of Egypt. And verse 20 says, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. So this is showing again that law bringing forth fruit, as we read before. If we were under the law that coming out of Egypt, then we are free from that law of sin, in which we are able to bring forth fruit through the law that was given. Verse 21 says, for the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome, and so be all that are born of him. Verse 22, Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away and the evil abode still. So again, just to give a little bit of context, it's saying that infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away and the evil abode still. Meaning, even when we were given that law coming out of Egypt, that was supposed to bring forth that fruit in us, that wicked heart was never taken away, and that infirmity continued with his people, where even though we had the law and the guidance, the heart of the people continued to depart away, and that evil continued to remain in our members. God, you follow me? So if we get Romans 7 and 23, we can go into really quickly the separation of those two laws of the members and the law of that was given coming out of Egypt, right? So Romans 7 and 23 says, but I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind, right? So that's, again, separating two different laws. We have a law in our members and a law that's warring against the mind. Sorry, law of the members and the law in your mind.
That's right. And take your time, brother. You're all right.
God. And bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. It says, O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank the Most High through Yahushua. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. So again, just kind of breaking that down a little further, you have two different laws. You have that law of the law where I myself shall serve the law of God. And then you have that other law that's separated, which is the fleshly law. And I believe in Galatians is talking about that fleshly law, where if you go back to that Galatians verse real quick, sorry, I know we're skipping around.
No, you good, brother.
But going back to that Galatians verse, if you read it, if ye be led of the Spirit, you're not under that fleshly law. And then it goes in and describes all the laws and everything that comes with the law of flesh and the law of that sin. But then Galatians 5 and 22 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. And they that are of Christ have crucified that flesh, which is, again, coming with that law of the flesh, with the affections of lust, with the affections and lust. But if we lived in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. So again, just trying to bring a little, it's not saying that if we're not under the law coming out of Exodus or coming out of Egypt, then we are free. You go back up real quick to 5 and 18. It's not saying that if we be led of the Spirit that we are not under the law that Moses gave, but it's saying that we be led of the Spirit that we are no longer under that fleshly law, which it then goes to describe in the following verses. I just wanted to bring a little bit more to that.
Hey, get our brother a mighty hand in the spirit. You understand? And that's what we're doing right now, breaking down these precepts for the people, man. All praises. Our brother did a excellent job for the people, man.
All praises.
All right. So I don't even need to complete that because that's why we're here together. My brother, he put a nail in the coffin on that one. Okay. If you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. So let me get the book of Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 27 real quick. Let's just run it up, man, and we're going to get ready to, bid the nation of Israel Godspeed in the spirit of the Mashiach Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
What verse you say you want, King?
27.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 27. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
And it says, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them. You should be asking yourself, keep my commandments, keep my laws, you're supposed to keep judgments too, right? So the same way that we were supposed to keep the law and the commandments, you wasn't supposed to hate that judgment that came on you as well for breaking those laws and those commandments, right? We might say that, okay, I'm falling short here, but when the Most High punish you through the spirit of Job, and he take away your goods, take away your family, you might not even have done nothing wrong. You just want to serve him, right? But these things will come upon you. You must accept those judgments because that's him purging you. He's cleansing you. He's making you become the best you that you can be. Your family will return, right? The riches of whatever this world have failed our people in. Hey, you're going to get that 100 times that in the kingdom of the Most High, right?
Come.
Go ahead.
Verse 28, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God.
Mm-hmm.
I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I will call for the corn and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 30, and I will multiply the fruit of the tree
Mm-hmm.
and the increase of the field, that ye shall receive no more reproach of the famine among the heathen.
Go ahead.
Then shall ye remember your own evils and your doings that were not good, and shall loathe yourself in your own sight for your iniquities and for your abominations.
So you're supposed to hate yourself for all of your sins and your iniquities and all your abominations that you've done in the sight of these heathen nations. You are supposed to call to mind every single last one of these acts that you've done. You're supposed to see them yourself, and you're supposed to know that they're wrong. You're supposed to know that you transgressed against your power who put this life in you, and make that righteous supplication in the last days to return yourself as a clean vessel, because the Most High is going to save you from all your uncleanness. And I know many, we think we doing it all, but it's really the Most High that's cleansing us, right? And we're going to have to separate ourselves from these people to thoroughly be clean. These things right here, these are poison. This is poison. We're going to have to separate and remove ourselves from these as well, right? We're going to have to get away from everything that is polluting our minds in order to serve the Most High in its truest form in the last days, right? And you get that example from the 10 tribes that fled away from the Assyrian captivity, and they couldn't keep God's laws in their own land. But it said, let us go into a land of where no mankind dwelt. That way we may serve and keep the commandments that we didn't keep in our own land. Thus saith the Lord, right?
Mm.
Go ahead. Go ahead, keep reading, brother.
Come. This is verse 32. Not for your sakes do I this, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Be it known unto you, be ashamed and confounded for your own ways, O house of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquities, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be builded. Verse 34, and the desolate land shall be tilled, whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by.
Right. Your land is laying desolate right now. You ain't even trying to go find it. You ain't even trying to figure out how you're going to obtain, the land that you lost, right? We just fine in captivity as a people. We've been having these records for all these years, sitting on the table collecting dust. But hey, listen, we in warrior season now, man. They blowing up the earth, y'all. They tearing it up. They're doing their final acts of pollution to kill off the remnant of Israel. Right? All of these things they're doing, all these heathens, every act that they're doing is to deter you from truly waking up and taking back this nation, right? Go ahead.
Verse 35. And they shall say, this land that was desolate is become like the Garden of Eden.
It's going to become beautiful again for you, man. Go ahead.
And the waste and the desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 36. Then the heathen that are left round about you shall know that I, Yahweh, build the ruined places and plant that was desolate,
mm-hmm.
and I, Yahweh, have spoken it, and I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will yet for this be inquired of by the house of Israel, to do it for them. I will increase them with men like a flock.
Right. And that's what you're going to see. We're going to be fruitful on that day. We're going to multiply on that day, right? It says a small one shall become a great nation. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 38. As the holy flock, as the flock of Jerusalem in her solemn feast, so shall the waste cities be filled with flocks of men. And they shall know that I am Yahweh.
That I am who?
That I am Yahweh.
That I am who?
That I am Yahweh.
Hey, this is for the Most High's name's sake, Israel. We got to start representing that thing thoroughly in the last days in order to understand where we must go and how we're going to take back the kingdom in the last days, man. Right? By putting on the fruits of the spirit, by truly loving, your neighbor, as you love yourself, right? And to be ready to die for the man next to you, ready to die for the woman that you took on to be your wife and your children, in order for them to live. You're gonna come back. You understand? We're gonna be martyrs for this word. You understand? We're gonna be put to death for these works. Those that have to fill that cup and that portion. No man is going to escape that if it's written for you to accept that. Even the Hamashiach Yahushua, right? He asked the Father to take that cup away from him because he loved his people and he knew they wasn't ready, right? Those that walk with him for him to go. But he understood that hour was coming, and he wanted the Most High to glorify him. You understand? By his obedience and by his sacrifice. So let me get the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 14.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
And there you go, Israel. That's the end of my time. I'm your brother, Yashuv, the suffering servant, and we are Yahweh's camp. And this gospel is being preached throughout the four corners of the earth for a witness unto all the heathen nations and unto all the children of Israel in the last days. It is our hearts and our desire that all the children of Israel shall be saved and that we all come to repentance in the fullness of the likeness and the image of our Creator, whose name is Yahweh, where Yahweh shine in the last days, man. So I want to give a mighty salute in a mighty Tawada Yahweh, Tawada Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Barakatah, and the mighty Qam Yasharahla to all Israel.
Is it too late to bring out a precept, King?
Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 8, verse 1. O Yahweh, our Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth, who has set thy glory above the heavens.
All praise to the Most High. His
All
word
praise.
be sealed in righteousness forever. Amen.
Amen.